Creating a box plot when your two variables do not have the same units. For example, I have data for breakfast cereals that I took from the internet, and they have the two variables that I'm interested in comparing are the calories and the amount of sugar. If I do a quick scatter plot, I selected a couple of cells, and then I'll use Control-Shift down arrow to select all of my data. You can see it's all selected. And then I'll do Insert, click on that scatter plot, and it shows that they do have not a tightly packed correlation, but it looks like there is a positive correlation between the two variables. So I do want to, if I was going to use this data, I would need to have the 5-number summary for each of the columns, and this is for the calories in the cereal, and this is for the grams of sugar in the cereal. So I did a 5-number summary for each, and now I want to bring in the box plot grapher, and this is imathas.com/stattools/boxplot.html. So here's what it looks like when you first come to this website, and because my data does not have the same units, the units for the calories are in calories and the units for the grams of sugar are in grams, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to put them on the same scale. So what I'm going to do is make a separate box plot for each. And the first box plot is going to be my calories. And then I just type in my 5-number summary. And then for the box plot limits, it's asking for the minimum. Well, my minimum number is 50 and my maximum is 160. So I might just go from 50 to, I don't know, 200, and maybe put tick marks every 25 units. And the axis title is whatever the units are, so this is going to be calories. And maybe up here I'll change it to calories in breakfast cereal. Leave these alone for the width and height, and then click Draw Here. Remember, if you can use the copy to clipboard, and it says if you're using Internet Explorer, you can use copy to clipboard. Otherwise, you could right click and do copy image, but that wasn't working on my computer, so I was just going to use Snipping Tool and snip just that box plot, and that looks beautiful. And then I'll put it into my report in the appropriate place just by doing Control V, or I can also right click and do paste. That'll work just as well. And so here's the calories in breakfast cereal. Now I need to get the other box plot for the other variable, which was the grams of sugar. So move these things out of the way, and I come back, and now I would say grams of sugar in breakfast cereal. And if I do a tab, it'll automatically select the data and be ready. So all I have to do is type in the new data. I don't have to select and delete or anything like that. So I'm starting here on my 5-number summary for the sugar, and I'm going to put in 0, 3, 7, 11, and 15 for my max. My minimum has to change because my minimum for the number of calories is 0, so I'm going to have to go from 0 to at least 15, and I think I will just go straight to 15. And I might put tick marks every 3 units because 3 goes into 15 a whole number of times. I could put 2 if I wanted. I could put 5, but there wouldn't be very many ticks. 3 seems like a good number in between. Tab. My axis title should change, so now it's not calories, it's grams. And I'll leave these alone and then draw here. And now it's given me the grams of sugar in the breakfast cereal with grams written along the bottom. And it marks my 5-number summary all through, and so I really like that. So Snipping Tool, New, And then I'm going to just clip my box plot, try to get all the information but not anything else. And so that looks great. Come into my Word file, push enter, and then Control V or right click and paste, either way. And here I have my two box plots, one above the other, but not using the same scale because they aren't in a scale that's similar. Remember with my, oh, here it is right here. With my kangaroos, I had the nasal length and the nasal width were both in millimeters, so I was able to use one scale for both, even though the two didn't overlap, but they were both millimeters, so it made sense to use a single box plot for the two different variables. And then with the breakfast cereal, since one was in calories and the other was in grams, it did not make sense to use the same scale, so I made two separate box plots.